Namaste, Your Royal Majesty, and welcome to Soul Horoscope SuperScope Weekly Report. My name is Christopher Witecki. I am your Sensei to Sirius Joy, and I am so grateful to be back on the air. Thank you for your patience with me. I've been transforming myself into a butterfly. You probably are the same as Leo Rising. I have Leo Rising. We'll talk a lot about that. But first, let's talk about why this scope is super. It's super because it serves more than one personality. If you are a Leo Rising, or have Venus in Leo, I have something you're going to want to hear in this super scope. Now, while I was off the air, the sun was in Gemini, and you were focusing on where you belong in the world. That's your place of belonging, your friendships, your reputation. And you're not quite done with that just yet. We'll talk more about that later here in the super scope. Because of Mercury retrograde and Venus entering Gemini, you're going to continue to work on social reputation. But unfortunately, things get a bit cloudy as the sun moves into Cancer, and Leos and Leo risings work on inner faith. We're going to move into chapter 2 of the sun in Cancer this week, and that is the Holy Spirit, your subconscious, where the boogeyman lives, basically. And this is not a random cleaning of the closets. You have been cleaning karma for one whole year now almost, with Jupiter in Cancer. So this is the next 6-week wrap-up of a whole year of karma cleaning. And I gotta say, it has sucked, it has sucked, it has sucked. But we are over the hump, and we're going to move into the metaphysics later next week. We'll talk about that. But this week, it's about some karma clearing. So, saying that, what's going on this week? Well, there's a lot of planetary influence that's on top of the sun in Cancer. You're not just clearing karma, you're also doing a lot of changes in 3 or 4 other points in your life. First, though, let's take a look at what's going on specifically this week. This week, the sun will be opposing Pluto and squaring Uranus and Aries. What that means is you will really have, you'll begin to feel the squeeze between faith versus reality. That's the sun opposing Pluto. And that squeeze is really to have more faith. So reality could get shittier and shittier if you're not learning the spiritual faith lesson. The other thing is that the sun squaring Uranus and Aries means that you're having conflict potentially between the way you thought things should be and actually what gives you faith. So if there's a conflict between the two, you got to drop the should. No, don't should all over yourself, and go with the interfaith point. But there's a lot of stress this week in that. This week with the sun in Cancer, you will decide to have faith or not, and you will go for it this week. So that's kind of where that story goes. Now, Mercury, thank Goddess, goes direct on Wednesday, July 2nd, also the day that the new Soul Guard launches, FYI. And this means that you'll finally think forward with reputation. So if your career's been on hold, if your website has been on hold, it goes forward as of that time. And this is the new you, the new reputation, and frankly, a beta version of it, right? Why do I say that? Well, because Mercury retrograded back, you've still had a lot of last minute, maybe big picture decisions about what you are or what you are not in society. And like I said earlier, Venus just arrived on the scene. That's my next slide. Venus is planting new seeds and working with the Mercury retro and Mercury direct to basically put your plans into motion. So despite the planning for social rep, technically your new friends, your new social rep, all of it goes forward as soon as Mercury goes direct. That's how I do it. And then lastly, the new male ego is finally born. Mars is going to take the lead over its Uranus opposition in Aries. That has been a tug-of-war, frankly, between your beliefs and your actual thinking. Mars in Libra has been making you very cranky, short-tempered, perhaps prone to arguments, that sort of thing, very mentally impatient with yourself, perhaps even nervous disorders in the body due to it. But now that Mars gets out of whack with that Uranus, you can move forward. So the good news is you'll be thinking more peacefully, I predict, by the end of the week. So I have a new feature here in Soul Horoscopes. It's called the Sirius Joy Farm. Seriously, let's hop over and take a look. Howdy, welcome to Sirius Joy Farm. Seriously. This is my new tree of knowledge, basically. Actually, I call it the Sirius Joy Tree. Looks like a flower, pretty like a flower, but strong like a tree. And this is the structure of consciousness for joy that I have decided to create to help hang your hat on what's going on in your life. So it's very simple. Sirius Joy. On the left are all the terms or states of awareness you want to be serious about. All on the right are all the terms that we want to be joyful about. These are all states of awareness, or the 12 states of being alive. And basically, your job, should you choose to accept it, is to keep in balance between Sirius and joy and between these states of awareness. Notice there are 3 roots and there are 3 stems. Now, that said, for the Leos and Leo risings, what is the sun having you focus on? The sun is God in this diagram, and the sun is delivering light to faith. As I said in the open, you are working on expanding your faith. And God's not there alone. In fact, God has Jupiter in God's lap. So the sun and Jupiter are working on faith right now, which of course is going to do what? Threaten your reality or practice off with all this weight. But don't worry, it doesn't work that way. Wherever there's the sun, opposing it is the earth. In other words, whatever we're light casting, we're manifesting on the other side. So right now, you're trying to create and light cast faith. However, you are going to manifest a concrete reality represented here by earth. So you're going to create a new lifestyle this month. As a result, you're going to end up manifesting a lifestyle that you've been working on for a long time as a result. In fact, death has been at the door of your lifestyle for a long time. Pluto has been in this sector of your consciousness. So it literally is a tug-of-war right now, this week, this month, between creating faith and manifesting a new life. One that is free of the old crap. That's why Pluto is there. We're not going to carry our old addictions, our old overwork lifestyle, or underwork, or lazy lifestyle. If you're a lion that lays in the sun and never does anything, that's not going to work anymore. Basically, it's time to find balance. And in essence, what's driving it? The need for spiritual faith, the need to feel like it's going to be okay, the need for self-compassion, the need for self-sympathy as well. Now, there's 2 more planets that adding on to this. It's been forming a grand square. One is macho male energy known as Mars. And Mars is putting energy on your thoughts and on your thinking. So this has made maybe a lot of angry thoughts, a lot of angry discussions. I know I've been purging a lot of angry thoughts myself. A lot of, prone to arguments, prone to anger. That's because Mars is in the house of thoughts. And notice that your thoughts are the first route to joy. So if you have unhappy thoughts, it pollutes everything up the stalk here, unfortunately. So trying to keep peaceful thoughts is one side of it. On the other side of your thoughts is Uranus, the psycho energy, which is putting psycho kind of energy on your beliefs. In other words, you are having to take new stabs at beliefs, you're having to innovate your beliefs, and this all kind of ricochets off of your thoughts. So you will have less of a psycho learning experience if you are more kind in your thoughts, right? The more joyful your thoughts, be serious about your beliefs, keep those roots kind of balanced. So these 4 planets, or these 6 planets really right now, is, in all practical purposes, what the grand square has been the hold-up since March, if you've been watching my horoscopes. So it's been faith versus practice and beliefs versus thoughts, and this whole thing has kept you tied up. It's sometimes these 2 lower ones affecting the uppers, and so on. So I believe this all changes right now, this month, right here and now, all by responding to your Jupiter God faith differently. By responding differently to your faith, by being emotionally there for yourself, you automatically, of course, manifest the new life. That's new, being there for yourself. What a concept, right? And by also focusing on your faith here, you provide basically a free thorough port for your beliefs to manifest, right? And that's what happens. You can't manifest what you believe in if you got a clog in the faith here in the Sirius Joy line. Now there's there's something else I want to show you, and I can actually take these babies away without making noise, believe it or not, but the inner child of me loves to make noise. Let me just pull off Uranus. And one is a grand trine, starting with Saturn. Now where do you suppose Saturn is? It's been focusing on your feelings for about 1.5 years now. Serious about your feelings, super, super serious. Saturn is the capital Sirius, and it's on the serious side, right? So that means this is an uber serious transit about feeling better. And the thing is if you didn't take your feelings seriously, then you probably didn't feel better at all. So Saturn is there trying to help Leos and Leo risings feel better and make you more responsible for your own feelings. The other part of the Grand Trine is this guy, Jesus, or Neptune. Both count. And Neptune has been saying, hey, you got to be flexible with your boundaries, Leo and Leo risings, and you have to be self-merciful, self-compassionate, and not allow yourself to fall into guilt over boundaries or guilt over sex, because Neptune's in the house of sex. So basically, this whole thing, the Grand Trine actually comes from the Sun, not Earth. Sorry about that. The Grand Trine, here we go, get rid of Earth. So it's between the Sun, faith, boundaries, and manifestation. Faith, boundaries, and manifestation. And feelings, excuse me. I got that off. Mercury retrograde as I record this, and the music wouldn't stop. Faith, boundaries, and feelings. Uniting your faith, uniting your boundaries, and uniting your feelings together. This is the Grand Trine that will ultimately help heal you under the seams that I was talking about in the opening. And of course, what you're expanding this month with God is the faith. But the point of the Grand Trine is this. You will grow and mature faster by being mindful of all three. So as you're trying to climb in faith, as you're on your knees praying, I'm basically saying here, you want to be extremely flexible and okay with your boundaries, and you want to be very strong and very serious and very much there for your feelings. Those two in combination with God there in the corner, I think is going to be what brings your faith. Okay, pardon my newness at all this. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is love. Where's Venus in this equation? Venus is focusing on individuality right now, or your social reputation. So for those who want to know about love life in general, well, basically you're planning the social life that will lead to love life right around the corner, if you don't or haven't met that person already. It's likely from you feeling and creating Venus, new belonging, and letting your individuality go out there that's going to lead to potential there. This also means that for Leos and Leo risings, you are creating when it comes to your social reputation and putting yourself out there. And it's not just Venus, it's also Freddie Mercury retrograde. There's Freddie Mercury retrograde, which goes direct July 2nd, but it is backed up into the house of society. So you might have thought what your reputation was, or what your title was, or what you thought you wanted to be in the world, but the retrograde has made you scratch, rethink about it. And Venus there has pushed you on stage anyways. So when it comes to social reputation and whatnot, you are being pushed on stage and you may not know exactly where you are. And when it comes to looking at Venus from the perspective of love, well, it's really about belonging out there in the world, finding your group, and that's where you will find the love. If you're in a relationship right now, you might find that friendships pull you away from your relationship, or you may find that it's time to bring your relationship out to your relationships, one of the two. All right, I have a quick little surprise for you, and then the wrap-up. Stay tuned. Couple of pieces of information I want you to know. For one, cool news. The Megascope monthly reports now are available for online rental. You don't have to download them. They play on every device, and we host them on soulmart.me all month long. There's also variable rates if you want 1 day or 1 week or 1 month. I'm really trying to make this flexible for everyone. Also, I want to tell you, I added Jupiter Gets Emotional to the Megascope stream. So if you already rented, go back to Soulmart. There's an extra video there. It's going to help you through that 6-week transition we were talking about, available for all 12 signs. Another thing, I got a cool teaching series coming out this summer I'm so excited about. It's called So You Want to Be an Astrologer, eh? Well, it's really designed for people who want to professionally be an astrologer, or if you want to use astrology in your given vocation. So as teachers, as leaders, as directors, whatever it is. Even in college when I directed TV and film, I used astrology with my characters, and it made my characters so much richer because astrology answers so many of the questions. Come on down to soulmart.me, see all the great courses. I have the Architecture of Incarnation. I've got the Art of Reading People. That's a fabulous course. It talks about psychic ability as well. Come see it. You're going to like it. Then I've got another exciting announcement for those who like this special. Buy 1 hour reading right now. You get a 30-minute follow-up for free this year with me. This is an excellent package deal for people who've never had a reading with me because you get twice in the same year. You really see proven results. Read my little comments under there or people's testimonials. This is my greatest talent. And I'm also the funniest in readings too, seriously. So come on down and see that. Couple of things we ask you. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. We do appreciate that. If you're on Facebook, you can like us by navigating to soulgarden.me, and it'll take you straight there. And if you want to be in our email list, come to soulmart.me. There's a link there for that. Don't forget, we got the new mothership coming out on Tuesday. Super excited about that. All right, my dear friend, thank you so much for logging in and your patience with me. I'll see you in 7 days, and I really mean it. Until then, live, love, be.